Hi everyone, and welcome to another mind-blowing installment of
The Dungeon Crashers.
I'm Guy,
And I'm Zapeel.
and today we're going to do a character's appeal name. In our group, he is known for being the rogue. He plays a lot of other types of characters, but rogue is where he's considered the master. Now, this build combines a lot of things I've seen him do before, but this wraps him up in a nice, deadly package. Plus, it's an elf, and I love when somebody makes a really good elf.
Yeah. And I have to say, this is one of my favorite builds, one of my favorite sneaky characters. Now, most of the time when you think sneaky, you think of rogue, and yes, about 90% of the time you'd be right. However, this one, it's going to use a lot of ranger levels as well. The combination of these two classes make the perfect, what I like to call, the death dealer. Wherever you go, you leave a trail of bodies in your wake. This build is best in solo, but it also works in a party. But you'll soon realize that the rest of your party's not stealthy when you are, and that can make it very tricky to deal with.
Yeah, that's right. In a solo campaign, this build would be great for espionage adventures or bounty hunter work. In a party, you will have to be the scout. Stay hidden and get the drop on your enemies as they run past to attack your party. Your investigate, perception, and stealth will be important skills for this build, so look to max those out early, pumping your dex and get as much intelligence as you can. And we've made parties before that everyone is stealthy to some degree, but even in a party designed for stealth, this guy's gonna outshine him.
Yeah, definitely. With ability scores, we went by the point buy system again. Your strength is going to be 10. You're going to be a dex-based character, so don't worry about your strength. Your dex is going to start out at 14, but it's definitely going to get higher. Your constitution's 14, your intelligence is 12, wisdom is going to be 13, and your charisma is going to be 10. If you do roll your ability scores and get better scores, definitely max out your dex, wisdom, and constitution first, followed by your intelligence, charisma, then strength. With your background, we're taking violent assassin. It gives you the skills deception and stealth right from the get-go. A poisoner's kit that allows you to send magical letters to people in your network. So, let's say you're going to a city and you have a contact in said city, you can send them a magical letter saying, hey, get accommodations ready for me, or have this information ready for me so I can go straight to work.
And your DM will probably play into that. Most DMs like it when you bring your background into the adventure.
Definitely.
And for race, we went with Wood Elf. And there are a lot of other races that work for this build, but Wood Elf gets a +2 dex and a +1 wisdom, and those are going to be the most important stats for this character. You need to be almost as perceptive as you are sneaky. And of course, it helps with your save DCs. Now, if you go a different race, be sure they have a plus to Dex or Wisdom, preferably both, and a bump to Constitution is nice too. And you get Dark Vision out to 60 feet, you're immune to sleep, advantage on save versus charms, the usual elf stuff, and it's all good. But the best one for Wood Elf is you can hide while lightly obscured by natural phenomena. It could be fog, leaves on a tree, the sun in the enemy's eyes, anything that your DM will call lightly obscured.
Yeah.
And you also get perception as a bonus skill, which is great. I didn't think it'd be that good, but the more characters I make, the more I realize how much room that gives you when taking skills for your build. Because you're going to take perception.
Yeah, perception's going to be one of the big ones that everybody should take.
And you start out with longbow, short bow, long sword, and short sword proficiencies. And you also get fleet of foot as a Wood Elf. It gives you a base movement speed of 35. And to me, one of the best parts about taking any of the elf races is the meditating. Instead of having to sleep for 8 hours, you meditate for 4. So you can guard the rest of the party while they're doing their full rest. And plus for me, I've always felt Wood Elves are the elfiest of elves. And this is even more so in 5e.
Now, our first level, we're going to take our first level of Rogue. At this point, you're proficient with light armor and simple weapons. Hand crossbows, longsword, rapier, and short swords are also available for the Rogue. You get a Thieves' tool set and are proficient with Dex and Intelligence saving throws. You also get 4 skills of your choice. We went with Acrobatics, Insight, Investigation, and Sleight of Hand. You get expertise in 2 skills that we took. We're taking Stealth and Thieves' tools. You're going to try to max out your Stealth as much as possible, and your Thieves' tools will help with disarming traps, unlocking doors, etc. And you also get Thieves' Cant as a bonus language, and only other people with Thieves' Cant can understand it, the written and spoken. The big takeaway from this level is you get your sneak attack dice. It's only a D6 for right now, but that will definitely go up. You have to have advantage for sneak attack to work, or an enemy of the target that's within 5 feet will also kick off your sneak attack. You must have to use a finesse or ranged weapon in order to get your sneak attack damage.
Yeah. And starting guild gear for this character is a rapier, longbow, and 2 daggers. And this won't require much changing until you get to two weapon fighting, when you'll want a pair of short swords. I looked at the starting equipment on a lot of characters, and like, this character's not going to use any of that, but this is really good for this guy. Start with studded leather armor, a poisoner's kit, thieves' tools, and the adventurer's pack. And now, if you're playing this character in a solo campaign, you might want to carry as little as possible, because you're not going to be sticking around long. You're going to get in, kill somebody, and get out. And the poisoner's kit, what you get out of that will depend on your DM. In my campaigns, it's great. Some DMs kind of don't really want poison.
Yeah.
Now, at 2nd level, you're taking your 1st level ranger. You get 1 skill of your choice that you haven't already taken. We're taking survival. And it has the marking feature, which is an optional feature from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. And a proficiency modifier today, you can mark a target that you wounded for 1 minute, and it deals D4 extra damage 1 time a turn. Someone thought this would improve the ranger. I don't think so. It's kind of weak version of Hunter's Mark. You probably won't use this, but it's free, so if you run out of spell slots, it could be good.
Yeah. On the other hand, if you do plan on taking Hunter's Mark as one of your spells, then take Tracking feature instead. You gain the advantage on survival and intelligence checks concerning the chosen creature of your type, which could be humanoid, goblinoid, etc. And you also know the language spoken by those creatures.
Mm-hmm. Expertise in language is another optional feature, and this one's actually good. You get 2 extra languages, which is nice, and gaining expertise in a skill is amazing. And we're taking investigation because you want to know what's going on around you at all times. Triggering a trap or an alarm will really ruin your fun.
Yeah, definitely. And at 3rd level, we're taking our 2nd level of ranger. We get our fighting style here. We're taking 2 weapon fighting. It gives you your ability modifier to your offhand attack. At this point, we'll be switching from our rapier to 2 short swords. Since short swords are finesse and light weapons, it works great with 2 weapon fighting. Your offhand attack does use your bonus action, so keep that in mind, since a lot of your ranger spells do use your bonus action to use.
Yeah, and at this level, you get your 1st set of ranger spells. You don't have a spell book, you have spells known instead, and you have 2 spells known, and 2 spell slots to cast them with at this level. Now, a solo character might want to take Cure Wounds, but if you're in a party with a healer, you could take Hail of Thorns for a ranged area effect spell, or Zephyr Strike for speedy ambushes. Cast as a bonus action on your 1st turn, you get concentration for a minute. And for the duration, your movement doesn't provoke attacks of opportunity. And once before the spell ends, you can give yourself advantage on 1 weapon attack, which also does an extra D8 force damage. Whether you hit or miss, your walking speed increases by 30 feet till the end of the turn. Ensnaring Smite and Searing Smite or Absorb Elements are all good choices as well. However, the most important spell is Hunter's Mark. This is where you're going to get a lot of your damage from.
Yeah. At 4th level, we're taking our 3rd level of ranger. You get Detect Creatures as an optional feature, sacrificing a spell slot to determine if a certain creature is within 1 mile of you. Great for tracking. You now be taking your ranger archetype. Take Gloom Stalker. Hands down, one of the best. Firstly, you add your Wisdom Modifier to your intelligence. And at the start of your turn of each combat, your walking speed is increased by 10, which lasts until the end of that turn. And if you make an attack action on that turn, you can make an additional weapon attack action as part of that action. If the attack hits, the target takes an extra D8 of that weapon's type. What really makes this build great is the next ability, Umbral Sight. It gives you Dark Vision 60 feet, but we already have Dark Vision, so it's going to improve it another 30 feet. And you are invisible in darkness when creatures are using their Dark Vision to see you. So if you're fighting in a dark hallway and the creature on the other end has Dark Vision, he can't see you at all, but you can still see him. You get another spell known at this. Take one we mentioned before. You also get Disguise Self added to your Ranger spell list, and it doesn't count against your spells known.
Right. And at this point of the build, you're a great damage dealer. With Sneak Attack, Hunter's Mark, possibly Zephyr Strike if you plan things out well. you go in with the Gloom Stalker's bonus attack.
Yep.
So on that round, you're doing a d6 plus a d6 for Hunter's Mark, a d8 for the force damage, and another d6 for your sneak attack. And plus your dex modifier added to 3 of those.
Yeah.
All 3 of them. So you're dishing out a lot of damage. You can one-shot a lot of things at this level. And at range, with your longbow, Hail of Thorns can turn that into a good area of effect attack. Just, you know, if you surprise someone, they're going to die.
Yeah. And remember, you can also do sneak attack with your ranged weapons.
Exactly.
Remember that too.
And then out of combat, you have your investigation skills for traps and locks, and along with information gathering, and you can hide and find out what the enemy's doing and report back to your party, all sorts of good stuff. And for 5th level, we're taking the 4th Ranger level. It gives us an ability booster, a feat, and we're going to take the Eldritch Adept feat. It gives you a Warlock invocation. And we're going to take the improved Dark Vision invocation. And yeah, you're getting a lot of Dark Vision, but this is where it pays off. You can now see in magical darkness at 120-foot range. So now you're invisible in darkness, and you can see in any darkness. You're kind of the ultimate killer here.
Yeah. At 6th level, we're taking our 5th level of Ranger. Here, you get an extra attack. We wanted to try to speed through and get up to that extra attack. We're going to be taking mainly rogue levels from here on out. But it gives you more damage, and you get another spell known. You can cast 2nd level spells at this point, take Healing Spirit or Magic Weapon. If you already have a Magic Weapon, that's fine, pick something else. A lot of your 1st level spells are still going to be your better options. Or Cordon of Arrows, which works well in solo or party settings. Rope Trick is added to your spell list, but doesn't count against your spells known. At 7th level, we're taking our 2nd Rogue level. Yes, we're finally back to Rogue. At this level, you get Cunning Action, which allows you to dash, disengage, or hide as a bonus action. At 8th level, we're taking our 3rd level of Rogue. Here, you get the Aim feature, which gives you an advantage on attack as a bonus action when you are motionless. So if you're standing there toe-to-toe with one of your enemies, and you don't move, you get advantage, which means you get sneak attack on that attack. Here we get our Rogue archetype. We're taking Assassin. You are now proficient with your Poisoner's Kit and Disguise kits, and you always crit surprised creatures. And you have advantage on creatures that haven't acted yet, which means more sneak attack chances. Since it's a rogue, now you're up to 2d6 on your sneak attack.
Right. And 9th level is Rogue level 4, and we're taking an ability boost here to pump up that dex. And at 10th level, we're going to take another Rogue level to get Uncanny Dodge, which allows you as a reaction to take half damage when hit by a foe you can see. I think this ability alone is worth being a rogue. And better yet, your sneak attack is now 3d6. Now you can move silently in the shadows unseen and do a great deal of damage to your unsuspecting victims. The Death Feeler is a great name for this build, and we're only half done with it.
Yeah. At 11th level, we're taking our 6th level of Rogue. You get 2 skills, 2 expertise. We took Insight and Perception. At 12th level is going to be your 7th level of Rogue. At this is the level we've been waiting for. You get Evasion. At this level, if you have to make a dex save for half damage on a successful one, you take no damage instead. And on a failed save, you only take half, which is great. You can run out, be in the middle, your sorcerer or wizard casts Fireball or something that's a big AoE, you can easily make your dex save and take no damage while everybody else around you is burning.
Yeah, and I've had my wizard do that day as rogue several times.
And I just laughed and ran around the battlefield. It was fun. At 13th level, we're going back to Ranger for Ranger level 6. If you took the marking feature, the damage goes from a d4 to a d6. And if you took the tracking feature, you can now choose an additional enemy that you wish to add that to. You can now swim and climb at your normal pace, and your base walking speed improves by 5 feet.
So now you're getting to be really fast.
Yeah.
And at 14th level, we're going to take 7th level Ranger. You get Iron Mind, giving you proficiency with Wisdom saves, which is nice. An extra save is always great. And you get another spell known here. 2nd level Ranger spells really aren't worth it, except for Healing Spirit. You get more value out of a lot of your firsts. But you can really take anything you like, or one we recommended earlier. At 15th level, we're going 8th level Ranger for another ability boost, or a feat. So we're going to max out our dexes at this point, making it 20. And you're also unaffected by non-magical difficult terrain or plants, and gain advantage versus magical plants that affect your movement. So now not only are you fast, nothing slows you down.
Yeah. At 16th level, we're taking our 9th level of Ranger. Here you get another spell known, giving you 6, and you now have 2 3rd level spell slots. Take either Conjure Barrage or Lightning Arrow. But remember, they're both spells, but remember Lightning Arrow is a concentration, which could interfere with other concentrations you might have running. Now, you also have Fear is added to your Ranger spell list, but it doesn't count against your known spells. At 17th level, we're taking our 10th level of Ranger. Take the Invisibility feature, allowing you proficiency times a day to turn invisible until your next turn as a bonus action. This is another optional feature from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Now, not only are you invisible in darkness to creatures using dark vision, you are now invisible anytime you want. You also gain the ability to reduce exhaustion by 1 per short rest, and proficiency time a day you can gain D8 plus wisdom in temporary hit points.
That's really nice. I always like temporary hit points.
Yeah.
And the invisibility is the optional feature. It replaces hide in plain sight, which in the original Ranger you had to cover yourself in mud and sticks and everything.
Yeah.
This is a straight upgrade.
Yeah.
And then we move on to 18th level, where we're going to take the 11th level Ranger. Here you get a great ability, Stalker's Flurry. Once a turn, you can make another weapon attack when you miss as the same action. You got to get that sneak attack in somehow. And you get another spell known added to your list. And 19th level is 12th level Ranger. Another ability boost, or feat here. I think we have all of our ability boosts that we need, so we're going to take the Defensive Duelist feat. As a reaction, you can gain your proficiency bonus to your armor class, which is +6 at this level, when wielding a finesse weapon. Yeah, you have uncanny dodge to prevent half the damage, but with this you can take no damage. And so that's, I think it helps, even at 19th level. I think it's still a good feat.
Now your AC is going to be 17, so if you use the Defensive Duelist and your proficiency is a 6, it's going to bump you up to a 23.
Yeah.
So that could be...
Keep the dragon claw out of your face.
Yeah, exactly. And now we're at 20th level. We're taking our 8th level of Rogue. We already did take a lot of our ability boost, but we're going to boost up Wisdom here, making it 16, which adds 1 to your initiative modifier, which is great. The faster you are in initiative, the better. And it adds to your spell attack and spell DC. Now, our build is complete at this point, and you have many options to choose from in and out of combat. You can do massive amount of damage, have you sneak around the battlefield, attacking anyone you can get your sneak attack damage on, plus you have a wide array of spells to choose from. You don't have the best AC, but with all the reactions you can do to take half and no damage, you're not really worried about it. They'll never see you coming, and they won't know they're dead until they see those pearly gates in the sky.
Yeah, I really like this build. It's strong, it's flavorful, and capable of doing what it sets out to do at all levels. Multi-classing does push some good abilities of each class up a few levels past when they normally get them as a single class Gloom Stalker Assassin. But the abilities you get by multi-classing make up for it.
Yeah.
And they're really synergistic with each other. So that's it for this build. I hope you liked it and you're inspired to play something similar. Then we know we've done our job. And if you, like Zapeel, are a fan of playing rogues and other stealthy characters, let us know in the comments below. Maybe tell us about one of your epic skulkers. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn that bell on so you don't miss any of our future content, like the one we're doing next week. And I'm not going to give everything away, but he's a rabbit and a drunk.
It's going to be a good one.
So until then, cheers!